Well, today the president made a brief visit here to Ohio, where the unemployment rate stands at 9%. He is, of course, trying to drum up support for his jobs plan.
Indeed he is, Tracy. Ohio is a critical electoral state, and the president says his plan will create tens of thousands of jobs in Ohio alone. John Kosick of our staff is live in Columbus, where the president rallied support for his plan. John, we understand this event had the feel of a re-election event.
It really did have that theme, and the speech very much sounded like that, Leon. He chose to come to this recently renovated Columbus High School to push support for that plan and promise Ohio a check for nearly $1 billion for similar projects in the state if the people could convince Congress to pass it. In front of a crowd packed heavy with students and educators, President Obama pushed his $447 billion Jobs Act today, a plan that promises cities like Cleveland around $130 million in funds to refurbish schools, not to mention money for teachers, police, firefighters, and infrastructure improvement.
There are construction projects like these all across the country just waiting to get started, and there are millions of unemployed construction workers who are looking for a job. So my question to Congress is, what on earth are we waiting for?
More than half of the plan involves tax cuts to either middle-class Americans or small business job creators.
So this bill cuts taxes for small businesses that hire new employees. It cuts taxes for small businesses that raise salaries for current employees. It cuts small business payroll taxes in half. So let's tell Congress, instead of just talking about helping America's jobs creators, let's actually do something to help America's job creators. Let's pass this bill.
The problem with that, Republicans argue, is the president plans to pay $400 billion of this plan by raising taxes on those making over $200,000 a year, people who they argue are America's job creators. The president drawing the line, saying if it fails, it's politics that got in the way.
This isn't about giving me a win. This isn't about giving Democrats or Republicans a win. It's about giving the American people a win. It's about giving Ohio a win. It's about your jobs and your lives and your futures.
Now, here's the thing. I spoke to a number of people in this crowd, and again, it was a friendly and supportive crowd of the president, but I asked a number of them a question related to the $1,500 in tax breaks for middle-class families that make up $175 billion of this plan, and the answer to that question may not be what the White House wants to hear. We'll have that for you tonight at 6. Reporting live in Columbus, John Kosick, News Channel 5.
Many thanks, John. And generally, the president took his plan into generally Republican territory there in central Ohio, right?
It is a Republican territory, yes, as far as Franklin County is concerned, but when it comes to the people that were here in attendance, many of them educators and students, people very receptive to what the president had to say here.
Many thanks, John Kosick of our staff, handling the story of the president's visit to Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, John. Tracy?
Well, President Obama's jobs proposal is not getting much support from Republicans. House Speaker John Boehner says the government should not use permanent tax increases to pay for temporary spending. But Republicans are willing to take a look at that plan.
We're going to consider legislation this week that would stop the government from telling companies where and where they cannot locate. And we also will have the Congressional Budget Office looking at the president's proposal as we prepare for hearings in the House on his proposal.
If Congress approves the president's jobs plan, it will be paid for by the taxes on the rich. Families making more than $200,000 a year will have limited deductions. Hedge fund managers will pay more taxes, and subsidiaries for oil and gas companies will be taken away.